When there's a mass shooting like the one that we've seen in Texas, the ATF gets involved. They trace the guns used in the crime because they want to know where those weapons came from. Tonight, our Dustin Grove got a behind-the-scenes look at how the feds are working with local law enforcement to get the bad guys off the streets.
And with so many shootings happening across the country, they have never been busier. But you may be surprised to find out how the ATF is still tracing these guns and the challenges they're facing. So, to get answers, we headed east on a paper trail, leaving Indianapolis and heading to Martinsburg, West Virginia to find out. In the heart of West Virginia's Shenandoah Valley is the city of Martinsburg, population 17,000. A step back in time, not far from the Appalachian Trail, and across town, it's also home to a trail of a different kind, a paper trail, with a whole lot of paper.
Now we get to the 4473s.
Boxes and boxes and boxes of paper.
We're sitting on about 28,000 boxes of records that are waiting to be processed.
Neil Trotman is program manager at the ATF's National Tracing Center, the only crime gun tracing facility in the country, which means when a police department in Indiana recovers a gun used in a crime, tracking down the trigger man often requires help from someone here.
We treat every firearm trace request that comes through the door as an important piece of information that may help solve a case.
Police send the details of the gun.
My name's Ethan. I'm calling from the ATF National Tracing Center.
From West Virginia, the ATF begins the trace using make, model, and serial number. First, they call the manufacturer, then follow the gun from the wholesaler to the dealer to figure out who ultimately bought it and where. Essentially, the gun's life story to figure out who had it last. Details every licensed firearms dealer is required by law to keep on location. But in the 21st century information age, at a time when pretty much anything and anyone can be found in a matter of seconds, this process takes time because the search isn't done online.
It's got to be done the old-fashioned way.
Correct. It's all done the old-fashioned way.
It's on paper.
There's no national registry. There's no database of gun ownership in America, contrary to what some people believe. We even get calls from law enforcement saying, hey, can you run this through the system? There's no system. There's no database or registry.
There can't be. The Federal Gun Control Act of 1968 prohibits the government from maintaining any searchable database of gun owners. So answers are found thumbing through page after page.
Believe it or not, the system is actually very effective. We're able to obtain the information that we need to get an accurate and timely response back to law enforcement.
But here's where things have slowed down. Here in the community, when a gun shop closes up for good, all those transaction records it had to keep over the years can't just be tossed out. So to Martinsburg, all of it goes.
We simply prep those records, we scan them as static, non-searchable image files.
Think of it as a digital card catalog to help save space. But the challenge is keeping up.
Right now, we're receiving between 6 and 8 million records per month from dealers that are going out of business.
So much paper, at one point the floor was in danger of collapsing. So
these boxes just, there's nowhere to put them inside.
They expanded outside using a shipping container. Today, they're at 40 and counting. Back inside, they're also tracing more guns than ever before. 500,000 requests from police departments across the country last year alone, including Indiana, where the number of firearms recovered by police from a crime and traced by the ATF has also increased year after year. Because of all of it, tracing a gun today is taking longer, from 4 to 7 days a few years ago to up to a week and a half today.
Is 4 days versus 12 days, is that significant?
It can be. Obviously, the quicker we can get information back to the requesting agency, the more valuable that could be if it's a time-sensitive case.
The ATF can do what's called an urgent trace for those cases that can't wait, like the FedEx shooting in Indianapolis last year, or the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. But urgent traces are on the rise too, as many as 25 a day.
How do you shorten the turnaround time?
Additional resources, additional funding, things like that could certainly, maybe expanding operating hours 7 days a week. Things like that would certainly assist us in shortening that time again.
After 23 years on the job, Trotman says he's still confident his agency is doing everything it can in the war on crime in Indianapolis and across the country.
We're assisting the law enforcement community and essentially at the end of the day, we're putting bad guys in jail.
So it's taking longer to trace a gun than it used to. Is this impacting police investigations?
I asked detectives across central Indiana about this, and thankfully they said no. That doesn't mean, though, it won't in the future, and that's why the ATF is saying we need more manpower. We need more resources because the numbers just keep going up.
Really interesting story. Dustin, thanks.